Hello, hello. This is day 2 coming up to our launch of the Life Skills Club opening on September 8th. Now, how would your life change if you could fast track through some of the trial and error of the tween years? If you're a mom of tweens and you're watching this, think about what would that mean if you could fast track and not have to do trial and error on all of the things through the tween years. Would that be helpful? I'm Marina Gabor, founder of Tween Talk, empowering moms to raise independent kids, and the new Life Skills Club for tweens and young teens, so sort of ages like 9 to 14, kind of depending on your kid's maturity level. Now, I have worked with tweens for over 10 years. I've successfully homeschooled my daughters through those tween years. There were some challenges. We did some trial and error, 100%. We're almost through the teen years now. Now, today, you're going to find out how I turned those years of trial and error, teaching my daughter life skills, and how I turned that into the core curriculum of the Life Skills Club. And I promise you, it could save you years of experimenting so you can get to the good part faster. So you can start enjoying a good relationship with your tween and building that foundation that's going to serve you well in the teen years. It'll involve significantly less nagging, guilty, trial and error, remember I said, significantly less nagging, less stress, because your tween's going to start taking on ownership of some of their responsibilities, taking ownership of some of their learning. It makes such a big difference. Now, I mentioned the Life Skills Club. I'm going to be talking about that a little bit more later. But for those of you who can't wait, go to lifeskills.club. It's also at the bottom of the screen here. You can get all the details there. But I will say September 8th, doors open. First meeting is September 12th. And until September 8th, founding members, are you ready? Crazy deal. Crazy. $3 a month. So if you can't wait, lifeskills.club, $3 a month. Go there, register now. So how did I get from being frustrated with my tweens to having a harmonious household? How did it happen? Well, let's go back about 8 years. I had 3 tweens, and they're really close in age, and they were dependent on me to schedule their day every single day. We were homeschooling. We're still homeschooling, so we survived that. We figured it out, moved from frustrated to harmonious. Here's how. But back then, I had to tell them what to do, when to do it, how to do it. They didn't make decisions about what to do first. They didn't know how to prioritize. They didn't know how to complete the task. What did they have to do? And I had to be over their shoulders every second, helping them figure things out. And they were kind of shy, and they didn't want to talk to people, and they didn't want to resolve issues because they didn't know how to resolve issues. They needed guidance on decision making, every little thing. You probably know. You're a mom. You know the decision fatigue it weighs. And in those childhood years, that's your job, to make all the decisions. They don't have capacity to do that. As they enter their tweens, they are getting greater capacity to make some of those decisions and take some of that load off. But they have to be taught. Like, these are skills that need to be explicitly taught. They're not just going to magically figure them out. So over time, I developed what now I call the empowerment matrix. And it's this system of developing communication skills, organization skills, critical thinking skills. And they are all intertwine and interplay. And as you improve one, it affects the others. And so you keep moving up as you go. So now they're able to resolve conflicts. So they learned those communication skills, how to resolve conflicts, which also involves critical thinking. So the better they are at critical thinking, the better they are at resolving conflicts and communicating that. They are able to work through reasonable solutions. They're able to take their work and divide it up, figure out what should they do next, what should be a priority. These are all organizational things that, again, critical thinking ties into that. Critical thinking, organization. Communication, hey mom, this is my plan, this is what I'm going to do. That kind of communication. So I started this process. They were in their tweens while they still wanted to hear what I had to say. They want to hear what you have to say. So now during the tweens is a great time to speak into their life, help them learn these skills. Then they'll have that foundation, which is going to serve them very well in the teen years when things get more challenging, struggles get bigger, responsibilities get greater, and they'll have that core foundation to build on. So I wish I could say, I tried a few things and just like that, everything fell together. I wouldn't say that's the case. It was trial and error, trial and error. Let's tweak this. Let's try this. Let's tweak this. Let's try this. And I had 3 with different learning styles. So if you think, oh yeah, so just because it worked for your kid doesn't mean it's going to work for mine. Maybe. But I'll say my daughters are very different people. And organization, communication, critical thinking, those skills still need to be learned. They're going to look different with each different personality. How they get organized is going to be different. The level of organization is going to be different. How their brain works, critical thinking, how fast they develop those critical thinking skills. Communication, how do they communicate? That's going to be different based on personality. That's okay. So we're going to take those, and we took those and learned those skills so that now they're able to do those things. So if your child is in their tweens, now is that best time because they want to be independent. And if you say, hey, we're going to learn these skills, which means that you're going to be more independent. You're going to be able to handle your schoolwork. I don't have to be over your shoulder. I don't have to be nagging you about it. You come show me when you're done. That takes a load off you, transfers that onto them. It doesn't relieve you of the responsibility of the ultimate responsibility, but they start taking charge of some of those things. If they're struggling, if your tween is struggling to get themselves organized, if you're finding yourself reminding them about every little thing, or planning out their entire day, every single day, you've got a checklist, you've got a to-do list, you have to remember to do it. You give it to them. They haven't really bought into that because they don't feel like they own that. They're just like, oh, I just got to do this thing. And then you have to keep reminding them. If that sounds like what's happening, the Life Skills Club could be exactly what they need. It's going to be somebody else speaking into their life, me speaking into their life, saying, hey, let's get organized. Here's a simple way we can get organized. Now try this at home. And then you come alongside and say, hey, I see you're getting organized. How can I help? How can I encourage? So first club meeting, September 12th, 4:00 Pacific time. We'll be talking about routines. Those are like the foundational, basic first step. Because before they can create a schedule, they need to be able to even create a routine around managing their things. I'm sure you would appreciate not having to constantly pick up after. Do you remember? Where's your thing? Oh, why can't you find it? Whatever. So let's get into a routine so you'll never eliminate that, but they will improve, and over time they'll get better and better. But it starts with developing that routine. Because they'll have created the routine, they'll be invested in doing it, they'll own it, and that's just the beginning. So $3 a month, probably less than the coffee you bought at the coffee shop recently. As a founding member, I'm saying $3 a month You get invites to weekly club meetings. They'll learn a new micro skill. They're going to practice that at home. You get the immediate benefit of that. It's something not with 20 steps. It's one thing. Do this one thing this week. Incorporate that. So it's doable. It's actionable. They'll have access to replays of the teaching. So if they can't make it a week, they'll have access to the replay of that teaching portion. They will get reminders because they're taking ownership. The email reminders coming to their email address. Don't worry, Mom. We've got you covered too. You're going to find out what's happening at the meeting so you can support and encourage them along the way. Also, moms, I've got a ton of resources. I've been working with tweens a long time. I've got a ton of writing, reading kind of resources. And again, that all ties into organization, communication, critical thinking. And kids often struggle with those things. And it all plays into their level of independence. Plus, as a Life Skills member, you will get a special rate on all the other courses. I've got other courses coming up alongside the Life Skills Club, and you will always get the best rate for that. I almost forgot. Okay, I was talking about the reading, writing resources that are in the exclusive moms only Tween Talk area. I also have another bonus related to that reading, writing thing, especially for those of you who are registering early. Every month, there's a 7-sentence story workshop. Now, tweens love this workshop. I love facilitating this workshop. It is so fun, and it is a great way to boost those critical thinking skills. Yes, writing stories is all about critical thinking. What happened? How did it happen? How are we going to fix the problem? Critical thinking skills. Organization. Writing is all about getting organized. And of course, communicating. Are they communicating their ideas? So all of that for $3 a month. Go to lifeskills.com. Link is below. Sign up now. And I cannot wait to welcome you, tween, into the club.